Hey everyone, my name's Helen. Welcome to the Shrimpy McGee channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing some foundations, actually 3, which you guys know because you've seen the title already. So we're going to be talking about this. I'm just going to show you a bit of my routine and then I'm going to give you a hair update. So if you're just here for the hair update, I will be putting a timestamp and timestamps for the other stuff as well down below. Yeah, listen, I was recently tagged in a My Beauty Community video by Shelly from the amazing YouTube channel Geek Out of Water. And if you love foundation, I love foundation. I try not to overbuy it, but Shelly really loves foundation and her channel is very much about all kinds of cool things. Like sometimes she does like clothing hauls and stuff like that, but what her staple kind of is amazing get ready with me type videos. Those are like relax and chill videos that she does that are so amazing, but also she does like these foundation reviews that are so amazing. Like if you're curious about how a foundation wears through the day, what it looks like on a bit drier skin, because she has a bit drier skin, as do I, despite looking kind of hydrated today. I'm pretty hydrated today. It's the middle of summer in my case, so I'm less dry than usual. If you have skin like that, then she does honestly the best foundation reviews out there. I love watching her try out all the new products that are on the market, so give her a look. I'm gonna hop on this tag as well. What I'll do though is instead of talking about all the different members of the beauty community, I will just pop it down below in the description box. So if you're curious to see some of the people that I love watching, go ahead and check them out down in the description box. This tag sort of came as a response to some of them dark things that are coming out of the beauty community lately, as we know, and I will mention names. A lot of people have been really they have not mentioned any names, but of course I'm gonna go in. You know, Tati has been in the news, Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, James Charles got dragged in as well, even though he's technically, you know, hadn't done anything, I guess, problematic, quote unquote, for the last little bit. And ooh, it is a right hot mess in there. But a lot of us here are just working as hard as we can to make really good content, and we're not problematic, at least I don't think I am. So the hashtag is to shine a light on established up-and-coming members of the beauty community who are good people and deserve your support. So I'll be linking to them down below. And also just to make this kind of worth your while, I'm gonna just show you what I'm doing. My skin is just clean right now. I haven't done anything to it, and it's got this amazing shine, which I just attribute right now to the weather. It is humid. I live in Toronto, Canada, and for those of you who've not been here in the summer, the summers are kind of similar to a New York City summer. Not quite as intense, but definitely that hot, clingy, still humidity. We definitely get that here. The upside is it makes my skin less dry. The downside is you wilt. You just wilt when you're outside. So I'm not gonna be using a thicker moisturizer. I'm just gonna be using this Klairs Supple Preparation Toner. So this is toner. It's very liquidy. And I just use this as a moisturizer when it's hot like this because I just don't feel like I need more. Plus I'm gonna be layering some sunscreen over this. So I'll put this in here and I really press it in, and I feel like when I press it in like this and kind of dab and press, it kind of fills in my wrinkles. One question that I get a lot actually is whether Rogaine, which is something that I use for hair loss. Look, my hair's finally long enough to be in a top knot. Whether it's aging, and that question's kind of insulting, isn't it? Like, are you saying, like, is Rogaine aging? Can you tell me? Like, people ask me this point blank on my channel, and it's like, you be the judge. I don't know, I'm 43 years old. Do you think I look older than I do? I mean, I think I look pretty much the same. So I don't think Rogaine and Moxil are aging. I don't know. Next, onto the sunscreen. I love this sunscreen. This is Elta MD Skincare UV Physical SPF 41 sunscreen, and it's tinted and it's lighter than my skin color, but which is fine because we're gonna go over it with foundation. And you'll see it actually blends pretty well into my skin. I try and get extra coverage on my nose because that's the part that tends to tan. So I just make sure that this is quite nicely covered. What this does a really nice job of is basically spackling in those pores. I find it really helps to make the complexion look flawless somehow, and also as a sunscreen, which is really a nice effect. So a little goes quite a long way. You can spread it over most of your face. Just gonna continue doing this, and then we're gonna talk about these foundations in just a second, as soon as I get this in and it settles a little bit. So because this is a physical sunscreen, one thing to understand about sunscreen is you have physical sunscreens that usually have titanium dioxide in them, and then you have chemical sunscreens. The great thing about physical sunscreens like this is they work as soon as you put them on. They're like effectively like a block. As soon as you put them on, they start working. But with chemical sunscreens, and the easy way to remember this is the chemical ones need a chemical reaction with your body, and they take, I think it's like 20 minutes to start working. It doesn't really matter in my case because I'm not going out right this moment, but it's nice to know that if I had to pop out in the sun right now, I'd actually be completely ready to go and it would start working from right now. But I do love this product. I'm getting kind of low Had it for about 2 years now, so I think I have enough to get me through this summer, and then next summer, hopefully they still make it. Isn't that always such a threat? Like they stop making stuff and then you're like, oh no. That actually happened to me with this foundation, actually. I have this Photo Ready foundation, which I think is a predecessor to the Colorstay, maybe. I think it's like Photo Ready, Photo Finish. It's got these tiny little sparkles in it, but that are not really visible, but they give a really illuminated look on camera. And I actually had to rebuy it from Amazon.com and spend a increased price because they don't say it's discontinued, I think, on the Revlon website, but actually is. I miss that foundation. So when I do get it, I think I'm gonna show it to you guys because you might be curious to see it. It's so nice on camera. That's what led me to buying this, actually. So what I've got here is the color Nude 200. This is actually too light for my skin. So, and I can't test right now because we're in the time of coronavirus. So I was not able to test this. I had to buy it outright and it's too light. So I've been mixing it with darker colors, but I'm gonna show it to you. And I still wasn't sure the next time I went. So then I just went ahead and, because they're kind of affordable, I went ahead and I bought the 220, which is the darker shade, which would be Natural Beige. Then I was like, oh, I like this color too. Medium Beige, maybe this one will work for me. So that's 240. So that's how they come. You would see it, if you think you're kind of a similar shade to me, 200, 220, and 240. So that's how the numbers go. I didn't see any 210 or anything like that. Maybe that's something that they sell online. I'm gonna show this to you guys. First, I will swatch it on my arm, and then you can have a look at the different shades, and all of them are a little too pink for me, oddly enough, but they're pretty good. Let's look at this one. Okay, so that's the Nude. Now that's not dark enough, let me try again. That's the Nude, and it's pretty close to the undercolor of my arm, but the undercolor of my arm is not the same color as my face. As you guys know, you've seen swatches, like I'm not revealing anything groundbreaking here. Okay, so next we're gonna go in with the 220, which is Natural Beige. And I just wanna say that this is the normal to dry skin formulation, so it shouldn't be so matte, but stuff's really matte. I don't know what they're playing at, but it is pretty matte. Okay, so again, the 220. Here we go. This is 220 here. And last but not least, of course, is the 240 in Medium Beige. These all look darker in the bottle than they appear on the skin, for these tones anyway, and to my eye. One thing you guys might not know about foundation reviews is when I watch the footage back when I make this, it never looks the same as it does when you're looking in real life. So it can be kind of deceiving. You still at the end of the day have to do your own testing and stuff like that. So here is the 240 Medium Beige here. Here is the 220 Natural Beige in the middle. And the 200 Nude at the very top. So they're pretty similar, you know, I don't have the best lighting here. They're pretty similar and they're all a little bit too pink for me, but we can make them work. So I'm just gonna actually wash this off my hand because I think I have sensory issues where I hate stuff being stuck on me that's any kind of like wet and not in the right spot. So I'll be right back. So I just went into the Natural Light to get you a bit of a different look at these swatches. You can have a look. They go from lighter to darker. Yeah, this stuff sticks. I had to really kind of, I mean, they call it Colorstay and it does stay. It will enter your skin at a molecular level, basically. You will definitely need to double cleanse after to get it out. They are not joking. It says 24 hours. I wouldn't say it lasts that long, but it does. It is so fine, it just seeps right into your skin, you know, which is good or not good, depending on what you're looking for. I'm guessing you're not gonna buy it though if you don't want it to last a long time. It's very matte though, so we're gonna try it on. I'm just gonna have some more coffee and we'll go to the try on. I hope you guys don't mind if I skip the 200 because it's just too light for this time of year. I have a little bit of color. Listen, the older I get, the faster I tan. Right now, it's like if I just go out in the sun, even with sunscreen on, I am getting tanned through the sunscreen. I have to wear a hat, I have to wear everything, and yet I'm still getting tanned. So I'm a little darker than I would be in the middle of winter. Okay, I'm gonna do 220 Natural Beige just on this side, and I'm gonna do 240 Medium Beige on that side. And the thing to know about these is that, in my experience, it's easiest to apply it with a brush. It makes it go on the best. Your mileage may vary. Everyone's skin is a bit different. Everyone's how they like to apply stuff's a bit different. Lisa Eldridge, the queen, is notorious for putting it on with her fingers. She would always put on foundation, but I've noticed even she lately has kind of been switching to using a brush. I wonder why, or maybe she still does use fingers. I don't know, but I feel like you waste less product when you're using fingers. So I think if this were a Chanel or something like that, I'd probably be more inclined to dot it on with my fingers first. But as it is, it's relatively inexpensive, so I know I shouldn't be wasteful, but it's just much quicker to do it this way. It does have a scent. And initially I did not want to buy this product because I didn't like the scent. I got over it though. It's pretty light and the scent doesn't linger and linger and linger. I have an issue with strongly scented products. I don't tend to like them, although I do like scented shampoo. So there it is on this side. It's pretty matte. The coverage is pretty good. It is buildable, have built it up. You don't need much, but you have to take your time because it has a tendency to streak if you don't take your time putting it on. You may even want to go over, if you really want a really flawless look, you may need to go over it with a dampened beauty blender kind of a deal, beauty sponge kind of a deal to get that nice texture. So that is a 220 on this side. Pretty good match, but I can always tell right up here, it's a little lighter than I would wish. Probably my ideal color would be between these two colors and not so pink because I'm not as pink as these colors. But anyhow, let's try the other side. I'm gonna be using the 240 and notice the theft tag is still on here. I have not yanked that off yet. I'll take it off later, okay? I was just gonna say it leaves a residue, then I gotta use a wipe to wipe it. Anyhow, it's a whole long thing. One of these days I'll take it off. Okay, medium beige, 240. They have a lot of colors in this line. So if you go and look, there doesn't seem to be a huge gradation of difference between them, which is kind of interesting. Is that too many colors? I don't know, like when do you draw the line? I appreciate that they have the lighter and the deeper shades. That's great. But all of the in-between stuff, like do you really need that many different, I don't know. How do you guys feel? Do you like having access to all those different gradations of shade, or they kind of just don't make much of a difference and therefore it's a waste and confusing? Because that's the problem. Consumers such as myself can get confused and then you end up buying 3 of them because you're not quite sure which one will work. And they're all pink leaning, which is really weird. You think that if they would make them, they wouldn't be so pink leaning, but yeah. Okay, so gonna build a bit because I can see there's some acne showing through. Getting this like summertime neck sort of acne that's coming from like intense sweating and all the makeup that I wear, and I think I'm not taking as good care of my skin as I could be back here, so I'm trying to give that some extra love these days. There it is. I am not loving the texture of this right around here. There are many better foundations on the market, but this is probably one of the better ones. I use it a lot of times when I film because I'm pretty dewy right now, but usually it takes away any kind of shine, which is kind of nice. Ugh, I hate it when a hair gets in there. When I film it, usually it eliminates any bounce and gives me this sort of diffuse look. But with the diffuse look, it can be a little one-dimensional. But I do like this foundation. That's why I got 3 of them all together. I don't think I would have purchased that. And you can mix them together. So that's what I've been doing. Sometimes I mix this one with any other foundation of these two. So I'll mix them all together. So there we are. We've got the 220 on this side. So this one is on this side. And we've got the 240 on this side. And I'm looking at myself and I do not see a difference between, they look exactly the same. What is Revlon playing at? I have no idea. So the good news though is that probably you're pretty safe, like if you're trying to order these online or you can't test them. Despite them looking kind of different in the bottle, they actually don't look that different on. I don't know if it's just my underlying skin color or whatever, but yeah, so I'm just gonna continue on with my routine. So that's the foundation part of today's festivities. I'm gonna carry on, I'm gonna take my hair down and just talk a bit about my hair and continue on with my routine, which you guys can follow along with. After I put this on, I just let it dry down a little bit before I move on to the next stuff. Yeah, so I'm gonna start by taking this off and let you guys know what's going on with my hair these days. I was watching someone on Instagram talk about her hair loss story and she's yanking and yanking her hair. And if you guys watch me, you know that's my #1 pet peeve. Do not start yanking at your hair from the top. You're gonna break it. You're gonna break it. Always go from underneath. Work backwards. One of the best things you can do for your hair brushing routine is to start working from the back to the top, not the other way around. And once you're pretty certain you don't have any tangles or anything like that left in it, then you can work from the top. But you're gonna catch those hairs and you're gonna, how do you think damaged hair happens? It happens from ponytails, it happens from the damage that you're doing when you're roughly brushing your hair. So be gentler. So I am a hair loss sufferer, as you guys know, but I kind of almost feel like I've recovered. Like my hair is looking so good. So I just wanted to share that part of it has to do with the time of month it is. It is well known that in July, that's when I'm filming this, although you might not be seeing this video until August. July is the time of year, if you live, I think, in a climate where July is the summer, not everybody does, where you lose the least amount of hair, which is kind of interesting, right? I'm not just making this up. This is actual, there's a study that says that in July you have the most hair and September starts to fall out. So I I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but apparently that is how it goes. Okay, I forgot a brush. I'll be back with that. So one of the new things I'm doing here on my channel is shampoo and conditioner reviews, especially as they relate to hair loss. And you know, shampoos actually don't do a lot for hair loss, so beware of any sort of claims. I tested Mane and Tail shampoo, which is a cult hit for hair loss, and did not like it. It took, after using it for a week, so that was the test, it dried out my scalp so much. It dried out my hair so much. It took another week to kind of get back to normal. My head was so itchy. So I think it's a great shampoo if you have really oily hair, if you need a serious clarifying job to be done on your hair. But if you're like me and you're kind of in the drier zone, it took me ages to undo this. I don't want to say damage. It didn't damage my hair, but it took me ages to rehydrate after I used that. So word to the wise, I will link up that video. You can go ahead and watch it. So I'm just using, it's a Saturday here and I'm kind of just going to be around the house mostly. So I'm just going to be using just a tiny bit of makeup. I'm not going to be overdoing it here on the eyeshadow, just a little bit. So got that on, and if I were just doing a really light look, I would just be grabbing this. So yeah, so my hair is looking great, feeling great. I use almost exclusively, when I'm not testing shampoos that end up kind of wrecking my hair, I use a Kerastase shampoo that I love. I've been using it for years. I'll drop a link down below in case you're interested in having a look. It's expensive shampoo, but I've never found a dupe for it, and I've been trying for over 10 years. It just leaves my hair so nice. I think my hair looks imperfect right now. It's not really styled, it's just brushed through, as you saw me brush it through from being in a messy top knot. Just leaves it moisturized. So next is my favorite Anastasia Beverly Hills blush. And I'm sorry if you guys watch some of my makeup videos. I don't use a ton. I don't like to buy a ton of makeup. I try and use what I have. I do not want to contribute to tons and tons of excess stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but and I'm kind of a little bit of a minimalist, so I don't love having too much stuff. Kind of stresses me out, that's what I'm trying to say as well. So no judgment. A lot of us here make videos about that kind of makeup, stuff like that. And of course you need to accumulate products to be able to try them. So I'm not trying to shade anybody. I'm just saying for me, I find it stressful to have a lot of stuff around, and I get like analysis paralysis if I have like too many foundations and stuff like that. So for me, less is more. So that's why I have like 2-3 blush palettes. I don't tend to have a ton of blush lying around. So you always see me using this Anastasia one. I like it. I bought this Rimmel Stay Matte powder. It works really nicely, so I'm just gonna dash a little bit of this on. We're gonna go for a pretty low maintenance look today. Yeah, more about my hair. It's just growing in really well. A lot of nice regrowth. It looks frizzy here, and that's actually regrowth. Just trying to stay up with my supplements, getting a lot of great vitamin D because of the time of year. I know that this will be a different story in September. My hair always falls out in September. Yours does too, actually. That is a phenomenon. That is an actual scientific phenomenon where more hair falls out in the fall. Made a video about that too. I'll link it up. You guys can have a look if you wish. So yeah, just a light dusting of this powder. Listen, nobody's gonna be confusing me for any makeup guru anytime soon. I only even got into makeup sort of, I'd say in my mid-30s. I've only been at this like much less than some women who are in their early 20s. Some of them have been at this a lot longer than I have and have really taken it to a level of artistry, which as you can see, I have not. This is not artistry. This just is putting on some bare minimum stuff. But yeah, you can see the foundation is pretty matte. It dried down pretty matte, like I was saying. Setting powder obviously helped. I did my eyebrows before. I'm not gonna be doing them now because I did them before, because if I videotape myself without eyebrows, it makes me want to scream. So I made sure to do that. Now I'm just gonna put on a tiny bit of color onto my lips and we're gonna be done. My hair is doing great. I continue to make lots of hair loss content, so if you feel like that appeals to you, don't worry, I'll still making it. Just thought I would take a break to do a little update here and do a little foundation show and tell. I like to mix some colors in this inexpensive Revlon Eyes Cheeks Lips palette, and I use the Berry in Love. I love berry shades, and I like that the shade is kind of matching my Breakfast Club lettering. It's kind of this pink color, which is like my favorite. I love pinks. I'm just doing my usual sloppy job, just missing spots as I tend to do, but the whole point of this is just this quick, just so I, again, don't have any kind of ghost lip situation. Spot, so I gotta fix that. So there it is, just a quick Saturday look for just, you know, bumming around and maybe doing a little bit of shopping and a little bit of chores, and you know how it is when you got some free time on Saturday, making a YouTube video for you guys. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoy seeing these foundations. I thought it would be a fun change, right? Talk about makeup a little bit, which is another thing that I enjoy doing. But yeah, thank you so much for giving your time to me. I appreciate you guys so much, and we'll see you soon.